Hi everybody, I am Rachel Bari and I am a professor of English at Kuwempu University, Karnataka. This is my first collection of poems, and as you can see, this is titled Body, Mind and Other Poems. This has been brought out by Signorina Publications who are based in Delhi, and I'm very thankful to the team of Signorina for having brought this out quite well. This has an introduction or a foreword by Daya Dissanayake, who is a celebrated Sri Lankan poet and novelist. I am really grateful to him for having gone through this collection, given me valuable advice on what to do and what not to do, and also been generous enough to write a foreword to it. Now, though this collection has come out in 2020, this year, and many of us will remember it as the year of the COVID, but then many poems that have been included in this collection are written in the 1990s. So it runs through a lot of themes over there, but basically there are a few things that I have concentrated on. So if I have to give you a cue to reading this collection, then I will have to tell you that the cue to this collection is in the phrase, rational poetry does not bring tears. So as you can see, the focus will be more on emotion. Now when you read this collection, you will find that this is a journey for me. This has been a journey for me. Writing poems has been a journey for me. And most of it perhaps tips towards the emotional side, less maybe of rationality, and I find that this completes me as an individual. So there are many things that I talk about in this collection, since it's a journey that I undertake to understand my own life. I have poems which talk about the difficulty in getting the right word when I have to, write a poem. It has never been an easy journey for me. Getting the right word has always been difficult. So my search has been for that elusive word which I want to pinpoint on when I want to put across an emotion, maybe a relationship. So my collection also talks about the various kinds of relationships that I've had. If it's with a written word, my religion, my community, my society, the people whom I converse with, the people whom I interact with, the word on the page, perhaps an emotion. These are things that I try to understand when I write poetry. And many of my poems are very spontaneous, because I believe that spontaneity is the key to writing a well-bred emotion. And for me, that is very, very important. And since this is written by me, it would be not the right thing if I do not write about woman as such. So this is not woman per se, woman as me or me as woman, but then it could be a general idea of what women go through in this world, and it needn't necessarily be always negative. It talks about the power of women, because I jokingly always say that there can never be equality between men and women, because women are always superior. Of course, this is on the lighter side, but then it is true. So I have spoken more about the strength of a woman and the various guises in which a woman is always seen. So to make it a little more interesting perhaps, rather than boring and talking to you about what my book is all about, I would like to read a few poems just to give you an idea of what this book contains. So let me begin with the very first poem that I have in this collection, which is titled Denial. And this actually is a search for the words, or the search for identity, and the need to write. The act of picking up a pen, clicking it open to feel the nib appear, putting it down on paper for the ink to flow out, making strange lines and markings on a blank white paper is cathartic. Writing is a force, an energy which flows unendingly from the brain to the finger. Tracing a thought onto paper is a miraculous act, like letting out blood, like clotting, like healing. The answer to why women were denied the pen and the word. So as I told you earlier, that this is largely a journey towards finding the right word. And it is also a journey trying to look at the way that language has functioned and what language has done for us. So for me as a woman, I feel that the punctuations I learnt as a child do not equip me as an adult. My sentences do not begin with a capital, nor does it end with a period. It begins with a comma, which teeters as though at an edge, waiting to fall off any time. So are my thoughts. Meanings collapse and collide. Restlessness frees me. Anger releases me. Exhaustion makes meanings. Goal is a near-distant dream. Body is an instrument. The brain, a treasure. Body is knowledge and treasure. Words are incomplete. They do not communicate. So this has been a dilemma with me for quite a long time. And as and when time progressed, I realized that my book is my body and my mind. I have a poem titled in that way. And here I say, I do not need paper to write a book, but you see, not everyone can read my book. Not that I want them to. My book is private. My book is my body and mind. And I also say, suffice it to say, my book is mine and the words mine, they are definitely not for sale. So as the journey goes on, there are poems which talk about my relationship with not only the people around me, my community, my questioning of my own religion, the religion that I belong to, and also my relationship with my family. It could be anyone near and around. There is also the fear of having to part with my loved ones, and here is a short poem which talks about that aspect. Now, if I stammer and murmur, I would like it to remain so, because I believe spontaneity is the key to every creative expression. And here is one I felt as a mother. The poem is titled Adieu, and I say, to die with my arms around you, my child, shall and will be my only last wish. Before I bid adieu forever, for I fear no death, but for what it shall bring with it. If it brings freedom for you, I shall revel and relax. If it brings confidence, I shall pass on easily. Bury me with the Lord's Prayer. I shall rest content when you murmur, my Father who art in heaven. So there is a fear of having to part with my loved ones, but definitely there is no fear of death. So this collection also contains poems about death, about space, about women, and at the end I've included a couple of poems written by my son, who was very young when he wrote it. He was 11 and 14. But amidst all this journey, having him by my side has completed me as an individual. I would like to end with this lovely short poem penned by my son Rehan Bari. It's titled Hope, and it says, I wake up every morning to find the world in a sea of darkness, wading through to find the other side. In the afternoon, I see a ship stuck in a sea of corruption, drifting to find a way through. But in the evening, as dusk approaches, I find a light that reassures me that the beauty of mankind still lives to this day. And this is a lovely poem penned by a 14-year-old who believes in hope, that the world has hope. It still has hope with all the things going around. I would end that with a note of hope. Thank you.